I want to share with you a really, really good way of understanding Rahu and Ketu. It begins by, first of all, you have to understand what they are. They're one being. Rahu and Ketu are one being, not two. They're one being who got decapitated, and the head got thrown to one side of the sky and the body got thrown to the other. Now, because they get put to opposite corners of the sky, wherever they go, they bring out the opposite natures of things. If you're looking at your chart and you got Rahu in the first house, that means you have Ketu in the seventh house. If you got Rahu in the ninth house, that means you have Ketu in the third house. That's what Rahu and Ketu really bring out. They bring out what is the opposites between the two signs or houses that they occupy. Opposites tend to pose problems because we tend to think you can only have one or the other. It's like a multiple choice. There's either A or B. It's, for example, a Rahu in Aries of the first house with Ketu in Libra or the seventh house. Rahu and Ketu here is bringing out this way of thinking that me and other people are opposites, and either I focus on myself or I focus on others. But this is the really important thing that I wanted to make the video for, is to tell you the solution to the Rahu Ketu dilemma, which is a huge important life lesson. Rahu and Ketu show us the main life lesson that we're supposed to learn in this incarnation. And the way to learn this lesson, the way to solve the dichotomy of Rahu and Ketu, is to realize that the head has to go back onto the body. You resolve your Rahu Ketu issues by taking the head and putting it back on the body, by figuring out how the two things which seemed like opposites and mutual detractors, how they're not at all opposites, how they work together. That's the big challenge, is to see how option A does not prevent option B. In fact, option A is the point of option B, and it's and option B is the nourisher of option A. Like going back to the self and other dichotomy that's characteristic of the first and seventh house, or Aries and Libra. You have to see, the tendency is going to be to think it's either me or you. But the dilemma becomes solved when you take the head and put it back on the body and say, oh, we're actually one unit. To benefit the self, I benefit others. By benefiting others, I benefit myself. By partnering with others, I improve my conditions. By improving my conditions, I benefit others. Not and or and sometimes this, sometimes that, but taking them together as one. Removing dichotomies, removing dualism is the key to understanding Rahu Ketu, and it's so nicely illustrated in the very nature of the symbolic, mythologic nature of what Rahu Ketu are. A creature that was decapitated, thrown to opposite ends of the sky. And now we have to figure out how to get them back together, how to put the head back on the body. So, look at your charts like this. Look at Rahu Ketu and think about it like this. And I bet a whole lot of wonderful things are going to happen from that.